shallow water. Now, they were using various times of year to catch shrimp, crab, and fish, mostly in small bays and lakes. You notice the back end of them stick out about 4 or 5 feet. That's called a fantail. And when you catch shrimp, you put your catch, your trawls and trawl boats in the back end. I figured you heard of it. This is a bad joke. Bear with me. I got a lot worse than that to torture you with. See the same marina? See how it has white pipes pointing straight up at the back corner of the cabin? About 30 feet high, one on each side. We have a lot of trees down here. We have red maple, hackberry, wax myrtle, black willow, Chinese tallow trees, and tupelo gum. Now, if you should picture the swamp, the tree that's usually associated with it is the ball cypress. And this one here to your left in the water, see? Standing along by itself, that's the ball cypress tree. We're going to see a lot more further back, a lot bigger than that. And they grace them. From there, they pump the rainwater out on this side into the bayou and flows out to the Gulf. See, you have to realize those residential areas long ago was all wetlands, either swamp or marsh. So once they pump it out and it dries, it'll settle and sink sometimes 2 to 6 feet. So the water level in the bayou is actually a lot higher than the residential areas where people living and stuff, you know. And besides that, it's surrounded by a levee system. Once it rains in there, you got to pump the rainwater out. Now, Mary's grandparents built here about 100 years ago, and she lived all her life. She's in about her 50s, and the original home burned about 15 years ago. And she stays there year-round. So as long as about a third of the root is in the ground, it looks like that for years. It doesn't seem to affect it at all. It just looks kind of silly, that's all. Then jump up and down on it. It's going to break like a bowl of jello or a water bed, and that's probably the last thing it would do before you sink up your nostrils, I imagine. Yeah, there are things possible. But it seems like there's nothing in there. There's all kind of stuff. Get some moss. And it's starting to dry out. Usually it's a lot less soft and more supple than this, but it looks weird. It's part of an ingredient they use in tan and leather. And that's one of the reasons the water's this color now, especially when the leaves fall out. And some swamps are so thick with the trees and the moss, the vegetation won't even grow, except maybe duckweed that should always go, the sun doesn't get to. There's also a little bayou going away from us out there at an angle on your left. You can see a lot better once we start passing it. And there's a lot of them like that throughout the area. Some go 5 or 6 miles more throughout the marsh and swamp. And to larger bayous, small bays and lakes and stuff. First tree in the right corner is
Here, Les.
I wonder what he wants. I don't guess he's here to do his income tax. Man, yeah, he'll still be that when we come back. Find some more. I see another one already. And now like that, along the trees and then high tide throwing them off the sawmill side area. And now it's set up in sediment over here. Now watch this gator behind us to the right. Look how he swims with his legs flat against his body. You see that? Look at that, see? He's got webbed feet and you think he's using a swimmer. Look at that, 2 more, one more.
What is he feeding, marshmallows? They eat marshmallows?
Yeah.
Too much.
Just natural stuff like that. Yeah. You know, that is how we think he's out in the marsh in springtime. It's true, I tell you, let me see, let me try to maneuver here and put him on our left. gonna put them on your lip. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's been like that since last year. I thought it was a pregnant female, and it's been like that since last year. It's obviously not. I'm gonna call a girl. Now there's a hunting season in September for only 30 days. Now, and I don't know if you knew that in the 6th they do the poaching and over 100 were put on the endangered species list. They reproduce so well. A lot of land either own or lease. Second, a hunting license, which I think was $185 last year. Third, they're going to issue plastic tags of serial numbers. Now these numbers are registered in your name. You can't give, sell, or trade those tags with nobody. If you don't use them, you got to return them to wildlife and fishers. It's one gator per tag. All the small ones can come grab hold of it. And if it's under 4 feet, you got to turn them loose. So what you do instead, and you're going to catch an undersize sometimes. So instead of sticking your arm down his throat and making the man lose your arm in the process, either cut the rope or do like we do. We double it like this. And about 3 feet from your hook, you put a knot in your rope. Now, he swallows everything. It's in his stomach, and I mean, he can't do nothing. It's just sort of hanging around, I guess, so to speak. And you undo your knot, slip your rope out. You don't have to keep cutting it each time you're losing 3 or 4 feet of it. Now, the enzymes in the gator's stomach are so powerful, like any reptile, like a snake, it's going to dissolve that hook in 2 or 3 days. For the very most. Kid you not. That's why it's a mild steel. It's not tempered or stainless alloy or nothing like that. It's got to be made of that. See these tanks here? Wait! That wouldn't be the first time. I did that at the dock a few months ago. All the windows was down, and I thought the one next to me was open, and it wasn't. I sidestepped, and I done that in my hand. Oh, that wasn't the right, that thing. What was that? You want to go out? Okay. Come on, you creature.
You can come up right in. Wow. He's strong.
Look at that one coming out there.
Bigger?
That doesn't look like a big gator, but he weighs about 60 pounds. Yeah. Very heavy on that of a pole. They're real hard to see. And the thing about a gator is he hides good and he knows it. So they'll go near branches of vegetation, grabbing their jaws, bringing it underwater, and drown it by rolling over and over. There you go. They swallow their prey whole. When I gave that out on that marshmallow, you seen him chew it?
Yeah.
No, nobody's seen that. Thought you did. It looked to this evening. It looked like it was chewing, but it... Oh. Look at that. This is probably close to 1,000 pounds.
Oh. So you work out with him?
I don't think so. I wonder if he wants to snag the big ugly rascal. Well, that's a big son of a gun. His back's probably about that wide. I'm not going to be bothered. When I seen him a few weeks ago, the first time you hit that chicken neck, you came right up to it. And they had a man in his boat after 3 or 4 times in a little fishing boat out. He must have done it for something. He's real sharp.
Huh.
Come here.
Maybe there's 2.
Huh?
Maybe there's 2.
No, that's him. That ain't that many bit. Look at his head out wide. Jeez. A man was attacked last August and September around Baton Rouge in French settlement, and his camp was like 3 camps from my stepbrother's one. And I think I told you, but there's no difference between gators and crocodiles. Crocodiles are known man-eaters. They ain't every chance to get. Gators have a natural fear of man. Like I'm sure that big one. You're not very good at this, are you?
Oh my.
I need a new pole. Not too close to my toes. The tail meat is by far the best part. When it's raw, it looks like fish meat, but it has a pinkish kind of tint to it. And it's real good. It tastes like alligator. So you want to see if you're listening, okay? No, it tastes like a cross between fish and chicken. Combination of fish and chicken. I don't like frog legs. You ever had frog legs? Yeah, I do, but as long as I wear long pants, nobody's going.
Yeah. Wow. Woo! No problem.
Oh man, you should have seen that. Like he didn't even strain. He just put his head down. Where's y'all see it? Still there?
It's coming back. Well, well, it's got a set of chops on him, huh? We can see the dentures. Oh, he's smiling. Now he's all content.
No, you know what? Got a menacing look in him.
Starting to slip on my dead much. Did you get to see how wide his back was?
Yeah.
Wider than I thought.
I wanted the barn to make a weird grunting, croaking, and chirping noise. Combination of all three, and the mama here. So I know they hear noise. He always moves around. That's why he probably lives so long. I don't know what he catches. That's an oil well here on your left, and it's built about 6,000 feet deep. Now, so much pressure on the ground in the oil and gas, it's self-pressurized. That's why there's no pump. See that 8-foot section standing straight up, or however tall it is? In oil field terminology, who can tell me what you call that? That's right. How you knew that?
I'm from Calgary.
Huh?
I'm from Calgary, Alberta.
Where?
Calgary. Oil.
Oh. Yeah, that's probably some a couple of hundred or more. Each one's different. Let me pass my pictures around here. This is my picture album. Most of the pictures in it, excuse that. The condition of the album, it swung apart. A few thousand people looked at it, but